Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Tony Stark Iron Man issue 16. And this was a pretty good issue. I liked how it kept Arno in play and really kind of set up what Ultron is trying to achieve and what Tony's going to have to kind of do to kind of stop that. So we start off and we see that Arno Stark is trying to help Yocasta do her upgrades and everything, and Arno's an interesting character. I like how they set him up as not really a villain, but not really a hero either. We really get definite shades of like a Doctor Doom kind of character when Doctor Doom's kind of handled correctly, where he's kind of doing villainous things, but his goals are kind of more complex than just mustache twirling. So they're in the process of doing that, but then they start hearing things like going off in the facility. And it's like, what the hell's going on? And then Arno's like, fuck, it's Ultron Pym. Well, he just calls him Ultron. He's like, yeah, I'm here for my bride. He's like, what? Yokasa's like, don't stop me. I want these upgrades and everything. He's like, yeah, that's why I came here. I want to help you with that kind of stuff. We've kind of got the same goal. It's like, okay, that's kind of crazy. So we switch over and we see Iron Man and his group are trying to unravel the Wonder Man Vision fusion, but they're having trouble with that. And of course, this new fusion is trying to get under Tony's skin. He's like, hey, listen, I don't care that you're getting hurt. He doesn't really condone torture, but he's like, screw that. Keep trying to separate them and everything. But Andy's like, hey, their brain engrams are pretty much fused together. I can't really untangle them. And then that, of course, clicks off in Stark's head. Oh, crap. Ultron's in play here. He's like, I don't know how he survived getting shot into the sun, but we're going to have to kind of deal with this. I've got an armor for this occasion, but we're definitely also going to need to call in the Avengers. So they set up to kind of go do their thing and try and figure out what's going on. Now they're trying to at least get a fix on Yocasta first, because hey, if they've got Janet, they're going to need Yocasta for whatever's going on, and they have to move on that. So they decide to try and go after Machine Man to try and see if he's got any information. And of course, we see that he's in the bar drowning his sorrows and everything, and we see this robot trying to get up with him, but it's a cave, and it's like, oh crap, the inducer isn't working. So Tony's got to bust in with his Ultron armor, which looks pretty nice. It's kind of reminiscent of the God Killer, but not quite. It's got that same kind of air about it. But I like how kind of different it is, but still keeping within what armors we've seen recently. And a bar fight breaks out because we've seen people talking about what Tony's been doing and how, well, he's been pissed off that what the Vision Wonder Man fusion pretty much made him do of frying his own brain and frying all the rest of the robots in the area, and everybody's like starting a barroom fight. Machine Man, of course, is still pissed off at him, talking about Arno Stark and Yocasta and Bane and everything, and Tony's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We didn't know any of this. Yeah, just give us that information. We're going to help you. We want to go help Yocasta. He's like, hey, why didn't you say that before? It's like, oh god, we got to deal with a drunk Machine Man. Granted, that is a bad scenario to have, but it does good drama and everything. And of course, they're on their way to Bane's headquarters, and they're like, Machine Man, we told you twice already, Ultron's in play. You keep blacking out. So that was a pretty funny line as they get in. Gauntlet kind of gives them the lowdown that, yeah, Ultron kind of screwed us up. Bane, of course, is pissed off because she's got a scar that's marred her face, which is essentially just a scratch. And Tony's like, no, I'm not playing this game right now. Tell me what I need to know. Where's Arno? He goes to Arno, and he's like, yeah, I just let him do what he wanted to do. And this is, of course, getting into play of how Arno is as a character. He doesn't really stop Ultron from taking Yocasta. He's like, hey, let me know how that kind of works. It's like, okay. He's thinking, hey, you already know where he's at. Place that he could move underground and everything. Avengers Mansion. It's like, Tony, of course, is getting in with him and being like, okay, we're going to have to kind of talk later, because he's like, why didn't you tell me you were doing this? He's like, you didn't ask. And that's how some people actually play this. It's like, hey, you never asked for it, so why would I tell you? That's usually people who know the kind of value of knowledge and see it as always that kind of game like that. So we'll have to see how that kind of rolls out. But they decide to make their way to Avengers Mansion. Jarvis, of course, is there to greet them, and He's, of course, acting in his controlled way, but Cable is able to kind of shock him. He's like, alright. They go inside. Cable decides to watch over Jarvis. Cap and the Avengers have been alerted and are on their way. But, of course, Yokasta and Janet are inside, and they need to get in there. And, of course, Rhodey's in the Manticore, and he can't go in because of how big the Manticore is. Tony, of course, tells him that the War Machine armor is still programmed to him, but if you're going to stay in the Manticore, just stay here and kind of make sure that his forces don't come at us. He's like, alright, cool. So they go inside, and we see that Ultron Pym is watching what's going on and has Yokasta and Janet ready to be fused in these two separate tanks, kind of similar to the kind of Fly kind of scenario where they would go into another tank to join themselves. But he's pretty much ready. Tony and Aaron pretty much get in there and try and do their best. Ultron, of course, making fun of Tony having his usual kind of Buster armor and how Stack really is just a machine man and calling himself pretty much a god and like the Adam of a new race. That's what he was like talking to Janet and Yokasta. And he's like, what are you trying to do here? He's like, hey, I've done this process and multiple times. Don't worry, it works. And that's when we see that he has been doing this on all these other people and testing it as they're pretty much the children of Ultron Pym coming at the Manticore and Cable in the kind of reception area in the Avengers Mansion. And of course this freaks Rhodey out, and he pretty much starts guns blazing on him, and Cable's like, we have to try and help these people, Rhodey, what are you doing? So Rhodey's freaking out because of what Tony told him about the War Machine armor and having the kind of PTSD of that flashing back, and then the PTSD of how many like machine parts he used to have. He's like, I ain't doing that shit again. It's like, damn, poor Rhodey. But of course Tony is trying to figure out how to take down Ultron, and he's pretty much getting ready to do the molecular fusion. He's like, hey, wait, okay, that's what I need to hit him on. And he decides to pretty much put him into a loop, talking about he's better with Janet than Hank ever was. And this starts like focusing on the different kind of split personalities of like the Hank Pym part and the Ultron part, because then Stack goes after the Ultron part, talking about how he is more compatible with Yokasta than Ultron is. And they start going to their loop of like my bride, my wife kind of thing. He still does have enough sentience available to start the process, but he's like still kind of like out of it, while Stack, pretty much really severely wounded, pretty much chopped in half, is still kind of dealing with him. Tony's able to get Yokasta out and is able to get Janet out, but he is caught in the process and fused with his armor, and that last page of him just strangely, weirdly fused is just really freaking creepy, and I'm just really interested to see how Tony's going to kind of get out of this one and what's going to happen there, because that really sucks. I mean, it just looks so uncomfortable and so like crazy as he just pretty much pleads with Janet to help him. It's like, damn. So we still got Ultron in play. We've got his children roaming around, and Tony is fused with his armor, so this fight is definitely going to get messed up. And Stack is chopped in half, and it's like, okay, this is a pretty sucky situation, but I'm really intrigued to see how they get out of it. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.